Hey guys, so on December 3rd, I decided I'm going to amputate the tip of my left middle finger. As you may recall, in September, I tore my extensor tendon when my finger got stuck in my shorts. I had surgery, they inserted 2 pins, and this is where things took a turn for the worse. 3 weeks later, my brother and I went to London to present SafeWrap to the National Tactical Advisory Group for Law Enforcement, and during a demonstration, I accidentally banged my finger really hard. 10 days later, my finger blows up like a strawberry. The doctor inspects my finger. She thinks I have an infection, so she does an emergency surgery to pull the pins out, which were actually bent upon removal based on the impact in London. At this point, she x-rays my finger and concludes that I have a bone infection, which is very dangerous and very difficult to treat. I get prescribed 6 weeks of heavy-duty antibiotics with hopes of killing the bone infection, which means I have to wear a PICC line that goes straight to my heart for 42 days. The trip to Rio, Gracie 100, the Amazon, catching pythons in the Everglades, all of this was done with a PICC line in my arm, and I can't tell you how happy I was to be done with that on the 42nd day. Thankfully, it worked. We were able to kill the infection, and the bone grew back very strong. The only problem was that due to the combined damage from the impact and the infection, the bones had fused together. At that point, I was told that I would never regain flexion in the tip of my finger and that I should just accept it as it was. What this meant for me, however, was that if at any point I was doing jiu-jitsu without a splint and someone's body weight landed on my finger, it would almost certainly break the finger and explode the joint. And this is when I was confronted with one of the most difficult decisions of my life. Stop rolling freely in jiu-jitsu to protect my finger, or amputate the tip and do what I love until the very end. After several weeks of internal deliberation, I made my decision and I communicated it to my wife in the form of a very simple text. How long should you keep a finger that you know you're not going to keep forever? For the amputation, I was referred to one of the leading hand surgeons in the country, but once I showed him the x-rays, he insisted that I let him try to save the finger instead of cutting it off. Well, this morning, December 23rd, was the surgery, and he did just that. Like a grand master in his craft, he opened the entire top side of my finger and unfused the bones while keeping the ligaments and tendons intact to restore as much flexion and function as he possibly could. Now, I still have several weeks of healing and rehabilitation to do, but from the looks of it, I'm going to get to keep my left middle finger. And considering that I was 100% prepared to cut it off purely for the love of jiu-jitsu, I can't tell you how happy this makes me. From now on, my left middle finger will always be my love and gratitude finger, and my right middle finger will always be reserved for everyone and everything else. And in that spirit, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry, Merry